Hello, everyone, and welcome to our circle. I am Salve Women. So I tease my husband that this is my natural color, and because when you're out in the sunshine and just taking some time with your family, it's really nice to bask in the sun. And here I am thinking that I'll probably have this all throughout the fall and winter, but as we know, sometimes we turn gray. At least for me, that's what I always say. And so I always like to tease and say this is my natural color. Hopefully everyone's had good rest and had some major peace, and it's just such a blessing to really just absorb it all and then take that moment and whenever you can to just say thank you. So here's to being grateful for everything that we get and everything that we are given, that everything that we already have that's around us. I just had the pleasure of having my 30th reunion and over the weekend, and so right when we came back from vacation, it was like go go go. And so how fascinating to really now start to embrace a lot of our our former classmates came together at the end and really had that time to sit and talk and really say how wonderful it is to just get together. And anyone who ever is hesitating to not go to the reunion, go. Whether you're the person who's observing everyone else and saying nothing, or you're the person that is really just chatting with everyone, there's something to take from it. And it's just a really priceless moments that you should be very grateful. And someone is there grateful to that you showed up. And it was just wonderful to really just catch up with all of my high school friends and just really think about what life was like back then, and just individually remember some of the things that people had gone through. But we were such a positive group. It was nice to know that we persevered and just really had that commonality. We talked about that, just remaining positive and really talking about just the wonderful memories. And so it was great. It was wonderful. And again, please go. If you're thinking about skipping yours, don't. Have a great time. Enjoy and take every moment in, because as time progresses, there will be those you will see again and again, and there will be those that life happens. And if you don't get to see them, at least you will have the memory of the last time you were with them. So having said that, the eyes that watch you, for me, I think about this now the more in just that maturity, where knowing that you are being led to that responsibility for others, not just yourself. We run into people. I mean, for me, it's been a wash. It's been really, really good of just really coming to that realization that even though you're not perfect, to really surround yourself with the positivity, people going somewhere, things that they talk about, that there's progress. They're not just talking about other people, they're talking about what they're going to do. I mean, with me right now, currently, I am just finalizing my first patent, and I love to sew. As you can tell, that's just my piece to draw and paint and write, and these are things that I do for myself. And when you're passionate about certain things, it's not that you are saying to yourself, well, if I'm not making money out of this, then why do it? Those are things that you do because it's just something that you have to know what you're worth, and then at the same time have that sense of respect professionally. I get that piece right there. But these are things that inner side of you, how much you are truly worth, gifted inside, whatever it may be. And I'm working on, I just sent in or submitted that one, the tabula rasa, that I'll talk about in another video, where it's just talking about, your gifts, your talents that have been given to you, and what are you going to do with it? And sometimes we think we're looking at someone else thinking that that's what we were made to be, and then not. And when all of a sudden we lose time and forget who we were meant to be. And this is me. This is like my secret hideaway in paradise of life. It's just always inside my heart, my mind, my body, and my spirit. And I urge everyone to do that. Just take the time to really get to know what you are meant for. And it doesn't mean that anyone needs to know. it is your love and peace within. And so for me, where I feel strongest, where I feel like there's this piece of calling in me, and I say it in a positive way, and I say it's a curse to really care about children. For me, when it comes to my students, they come second to my children, always will be. Your children will always sometimes feel like they are not, because you give so much to other students, but that's only in the hour that I get them, and then they move on to another class, and they move into another class. So you're giving everything you possibly can at that given moment with what you're instructing, and the lessons that you have designed and have planned out and have crafted. And then they want to insert those 2-minute conversations, especially because I teach math right now, and I used to teach when I used to teach language arts and social studies, and I used to be an intervention and so forth. There were other conversations you could have, but right now it's like, hey, we got like 30 seconds to 2 minutes, and they know that. Respectfully, they will tell you whatever it is that's on their mind that they want to share, and that's meaningful. But when it comes to your own children, we know as children when we were young, it's like you take those moments for granted, and then yet you expect your parents to give everything you got. And even though you may not know it, they are, but they are so divided with so many things that's going on in their head. And if you've ever been in that position where you're busy but really not as productive as you'd like to be, there's this sense of guilt because you know that you have this responsibility for others around you. It's not just you. And that is something that you have to embrace about yourself, and saying, you know what? I am doing the best I can, and what your best is not always going to look pretty. And for other people, they're looking as like it's not good enough. It feels like 10% or 20% of what I need out of you, and maybe that 100% that you gave them out of it, your piece may have been just 20% pulled out. That 100% that you gave in was only 20% of what they needed, and you have to give yourself that peace. And when I say that, I know that sometimes we preach what we don't always practice because it's hard. You have to say these things to really hear them, but you can only do it one day at a time. And you know that no matter what, you would hope to think that you're the greatest influence for your children and for the children who look upon you. And you're thinking to yourself, all I want is love and honor and respect. And you know what? That's what I ask for. And sometimes when there are emotions involved, or they know what can really hurt you or hit you, they know that sometimes something else is given, and it's a way for them to kind of show that maybe you're not giving me what I want. And you have to be okay with that, because as long as you know that you have given it through your heart and your love and hard work, you just have to really understand that the world isn't just about you. Right? It is about you giving. I'm definitely a giver, but at the same time, I have to learn to forgive. You have to learn to forgive. If you know that you're giving your service to those around you, and yet it may not in their eyes look enough or at all anything worthy, that is something that you have to embrace. But that should not stop you from trying to be the best you can be, because they're living today. And that is one thing that I am embracing, is that they are seeing everything for what it is. And they will turn to those who they want to hear, will fill in what they want to believe. And so you could be the example that they need, but they don't want to see it right now. And all you have to say to yourself is, you know what? Living in goodness, living righteously, living in the way that I know will make me go to bed at night knowing that I'm in peace, that I am stronger, better, and able to then get up the next day without feeling any guilty conscience of thinking that I did something that could have hurt somebody or have done someone wrong in a means that has pulled them back. As long as you know you're going forward and that you're being progressive, you need to surround yourself with that type of mentality of knowing that, look, you can forgive yourself, and knowing that you've tried it, that you're just going about your business and you're moving forward. Just move forward and making sure that you are doing the right thing, because no matter what, when you plant that seed, then that is what will propagate. That is what will people will reap out of. If you are planting a bad seed will be pulled out, right? I mean, that's just how it is in life. It's like, what am I sowing? What is it about me that I know will then deliver itself upon many generations? And that is something that I've really come to, and it's such a nice embrace to arrive. And it's funny because you get to that point, and I really am sending that message today, that to get to that point of saying to yourself, here I am doing me the best way I can to make this world a better place. And if others are too busy seeing it, it's okay. It doesn't matter. You do you in the best way you can, because no matter what, your light is what is needed in this world. And your light, maybe you may have directed it for one, and yet someone else, and maybe hopefully 5 or 10 or 20 or more than that. I mean, in these videos, even if it's just people they come to you and say, hey, you should reach out to more. And I'm thinking to myself, but I feel like I couldn't stop, even if it was just one that needed the message. And that's where you get your peace. That's what you get, where you get your aha moments. It is not about what everybody else is telling you. It is about what you feel inside. And I truly believe that when you get to that, then you're really into that inner strength of knowing that the world doesn't own you. You're just doing you and being the best example you can be for those eyes that are watching. And so here's the title, The Eyes That Watch You. Think about that. Who are you hoping when they see you? What do you hope that they see? What message do you hope that they get? And even if they're not willing to get it right now, what do you hope one day they will sit back and finally be able to understand? And so you sow it, you continue to shine, you continue to be in that light. Do not ever think that what you are doing doesn't matter, because it matters to someone. And as long as you're not communicating or connecting yourself with those that are heading in the wrong direction, or just sit there and commiserate and have nothing to really speak of something that they've done right to help the world, not to give the spiteful darkness and that puts people in darker, vengeful attitudes, or that makes you feel more angry or more bitter or more resentful. That you're really around people that are telling you what you need to hear to grow, to progress, to be better, to be stronger, to be continuing in the light, and that there's progress in your life, and that you're being productive, and that you're filled with love. And because you cannot give love if you don't have that self-love, then that is what's important. Please remember that, and hopefully the message there in The Eyes That Watch You remind you that if it's one person who is watching you, let them dance from the happiness that you have done to give them the light that they needed. So, in the words of my mother, God bless us all. My nails are probably not at its best, but that's okay. Been doing some catch up with my painting and just things around the house. And you know what? Do you. And just continue to be the strong person, the strong model, and the strong positivity that you are. And if you're struggling with that, then it's time to check yourself and really understand that exterior beauty, whatever you see on the outside, is borrowed. What you're building inside is what can't be taken away. It's what can only be stronger and better in time. You are like wine. I guess is what I'm going to say. Really drink, but you know what? You get it, right? You get better in time. Have a great one, everyone, and we will see you next time. Take care. Thank you for watching.